Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing another itty bitty knit kit from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I have a viewer request, and this was actually emailed to me. Thank you so much. I just want to give a little quick shout out for the viewer who emailed me these instructions. I've been getting so many viewer requests, and I always mention if I find it in the stores or online, I'll get it. And I have not been able to find these kits in my area. I should have like a bunch of stuff coming in a delivery soon, so I'll be able to do some of the other kits. But if you have any requests for any of these kits, if you don't want to wait for me to find it, definitely go and take a clear image of the instructions and email it to me, and that information can be found in the description box below as well as on my channel info. So today, you guys, we're going to do this spooky cat. And again, another shout out. Thank you so much, viewer. You know, I don't want to like mention names or anything for just privacy's sake, but thank you so much for sending me the instructions. Out of all the kind of Halloween-y kits, like this is definitely the one that I wanted. It's sold out on their website. As you may or may not know, I have a black cat named Dexter. He's 12 years old, and he pops in every now and then. He's just the best. So I definitely wanted this kit, and I couldn't find it. So thank you for sending this to me. And so now I'm going to be filming this and hopefully being able to help you out. So I am doing Spooky the Cat, but since I don't have the kit physically, I'm going to be using my own material. And then on top of that, I am stealing the knitting needles from another kit that I am going to be working on next. So in case you're wondering, I am taking it from the Baby Ghosty. I found that not too long ago. I mean, pretty recent. So I'm going to be doing that kit next. But I am going to steal the knitting needles. So again, I always stress this, that whenever you use these kits, save the tools, because you never know if you're going to be needing them. And I did have other kits that I've done in the past, but I actually just put them away in a little baggie in storage. So rather than have to go all the way back there and get that stuff out, I'm just gonna steal the knitting needles. Okay, so I won't be able to show you the physical instructions. This video anyway, by the way, is just a supplement to the kit. If you really want to get these done, I highly recommend that you find them. I mean, they should really be online as well. They are for a hot minute, and I guess because it's popular, maybe is sold out. But always check online in case you don't find them in the stores. So I am going to be going over new stitches at least 3 times, step by step, and then I'm going to be going my normal pace thereafter. And then if there are any like weird things that I think you might stumble upon, I will go over that as well. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, go click on the gear button at the corner of the screen. There's options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you could always lower the volume on your device and click on the CC closed caption button. But these instructions are very good. They have illustrations as well as step-by-step written instructions. And then for the actual instruction, they give you a really nice, oh no. All right, I'm gonna have to get a ruler because I always use the ruler. See how convenient? I'm just gonna, again, steal the ruler from the Ghosty instruction. But yeah, it comes with a printed ruler in the instructions, so you don't need another tool for that. And then it also comes with stuffing. I have my own stuffing, so I don't have to worry about that. I have a bunch of plastic needles I could probably find somewhere. And then obviously it comes with the knitting needles. And what else am I? The only thing that's going to be different for me is the felt stickers for the eyes and the nose. I don't have that, so I'm just going to sew them in and hope for the best. I really hope I do this cat justice, because my cat Dexter is super ultra cute and I would hate to mess his face up. So all right, so let's get to this. I am using cotton yarn because I know it's not going to be a frizzy mess. Obviously you use what they give you. I mean, and you really don't have to. If you want to use a nice yarn, a textured yarn, a different color kind of yarn, I would recommend just going to a hobby store and getting your own yarn, because then you wouldn't have to worry about whether or not you had enough yarn to begin with, because sometimes these kits don't give you enough material. So I recommend doing that. And then yeah, and then you can do it as many times as you want. If you're planning on doing like a gift for a holiday or something, throwing it in a giveaway or what have you, you can end up doing that, and you can make as many as you want. All right, okay, I dropped something. So I'm going to measure out the required tail length. So don't mind this instruction here. This is for an entirely different kit. Okay. All right, I was able to use what I needed from that kit. So the tail length that we have here is going to be for the end when you sew everything all together. So I would take this tail end and just drape it over your desk so it's out of the way. This part here is now going to become your feeder yarn with your spool here of yarn. So just put that on top so there's no confusing the tail end with the feeder end. I'm just going to switch grips back and forth because I want to be able to hold it like this, and I am doing this for righty, so pinch hard with this so that this doesn't go anywhere. It's not loose, but we're going to take our middle finger and ring finger, and you're just going to hold it like this, and this can be loose because what we're going to do is take our two fingers here. You want to lift up on this yarn. We're going to rotate it to create this loop here. Then I'm going to go grab the feeder yarn with my index and middle finger, and we're going to pull that into this large loop like that. It's going to turn into a knot, a huge knot. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start pulling this end here, not the feeder end, this end, and you want to pull and push this knot towards your left thumb. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to get this knot as close to your thumb as possible, because this is where your mark is for the tail. If you're off by a little bit, that's all right. The world is not going to end. So push it down till you can't anymore. And then just to make sure that you got a nice snug knot, I'm going to pull on the tail end now. So pull a little bit. You don't have to pull too hard, just enough to get that knot just a little bit more snug. And this is a dark color, so it will be hard to see in video. So I really hope you can at least just get the idea and do this with me. Okay, so now I'm gonna hold the knot right here, a little firm, not too tight, because what I want to do is make this loop manageable. So you want to take the feeder yarn now, and you want to gently pull on the feeder yarn while you're kind of gently squishing down on that knot, and keep pulling until this loop gets small enough to fit your knitting needle. And be careful not to undo it, because then you have to redo it again, but it's not a big deal. Then you can slip your knitting needle through the loop like that. So we're all good to go. All right, so for these kits, the good thing about this is that it uses one stitch, and it's one of the basic stitches in knitting. You've got the knit stitch. There's a couple of other ones that are pretty basic that are used a lot, but the knit stitch, I feel, is like the stitch that's always the first one to learn, always the easiest, always the one that's most used. So after doing this kit, you're going to master the knit stitch and you'll be able to make a scarf or a pot holder or whatever, you know. Alright, so let's do this. I'm going to gather up some yarn here, and I normally like to get a lot of yarn, but for this time I'm just not going to be too greedy and use maybe a little bit. Wrap this around my finger. There's other daintier ways to do it. I think the booklet shows you how to do it, but I like to be all, you know, crazy about it. Okay. Then you take this needle here and you're going to slip that into the same loop as well. So you have 2 knitting needles in this loop. Alright, so whenever you start a knit stitch, it's always going to start out the same. You want to X your needles. And for a knit stitch, your left needle always needs to be on top and your right needle always needs to be on the bottom. So you'll go into your X, left needle on top, right needle on the bottom, and then you want your feeder yarn to be in the back. If you end up having it in the front like this is an entirely different stitch with the needles facing the wrong way anyway. So what you want to do is, if you happen to have your yarn up here, just turn it so that's in the back. So knit stitch stance, you've got your X, right needle in the back, left needle on top, feeder yarn in the back. Now to create your first knit stitch, which is going to be casting on stitches on your left needle, so this is how you do it. You're going to hold this like this, you're going to take your feeder yarn and you're going to go back to front around your right needle and down, and you want to slip it in between the 2 needles. You're going to either feel a snap or hear a snap or both. So I'll try to move close to the camera so you can see it and possibly hear it. It was a little snap. But yeah, you want to trap that feeder yarn into this little triangular space, because the next step is going to force this yarn into this stitch, creating a new stitch. So let me show that again. You have your knit stitch stance, Xing your needles. We're going to take our feeder yarn and go back to forward around the right needle and then pull down, feel or hear a snap. Then from here what we're going to do is you're going to slide the left needle down the right needle and over to the back, and you always want to maintain contact. See, I kind of let go, so now my feeder yarn isn't trapped in that triangle, so you want to keep that feeder yarn into that little space there, and you want to constantly touch your needles. See how that small tiny surface is touching? This is going to keep you from losing any stitches, so always keep your needles touching. So what you want to do now is slide your left needle down the right, over and back, constantly touching the needles together, and that's going to force the right needle to push the feeder yarn through this loop. So hopefully I can hold it in an angle to where you can see it, but I'm slowly dragging it over the right and to the back, maintaining contact. Okay. And it's pushing that feeder yarn through the loop, and it created a new stitch. And of course I'm going to show you this again a couple more times, so if you missed it the first time, we'll get to try it again. But since we're casting on in this instance, all we have to do is pick up this stitch and move it to the left needle. To do that, you want to hold on to your stitches here. At the moment we only have one, but you want to take your left needle and pick up that new stitch by sticking it through the loop, and then you just want to lift it off the right needle like that. So now you just basically transferred that new stitch onto your left needle, and now you have 2 stitches. So now what you want to do is try this again. Put your needle into the new stitch now, right here, slip that through. Get into your knitting stance. We're going to X our needles. You want the right needle in the back, left needle on top, feeder yarn in the back. We're going to go back to front and down, hear it or feel it snap. Okay, it's trapped in this little space here. We're going to slide the left needle over and back the right needle, constantly touching. It's going to force that feeder yarn. You can see through the loop. Perfect. And now you have a new stitch on your right needle. So now I'm going to continue to hold these 2 stitches. You don't want to lose them. You want to take your left needle and pick up this new stitch on the right and slip it off the right needle. And now you have 3 stitches. All right, let's do this one more time, you guys. So stick your right needle into the new stitch, get into your knitting stance with an X, right needle on the bottom, left needle on top, feeder yarn in the back. We're going to go back to front and down, hear or feel it snap, get it into that little space, maintain contact with your needles. We're going to slide the left needle over the right and down the back, creating a new stitch. And then we're just going to take our left needle and put it through that new stitch and lift it off the right needle. So now we have 4. Ooh, I love this color combo. All right, so now you have 4 stitches. What I'm going to do now is move forward with the number of stitches it tells you to put on your instruction. So you can rewind this video and until you feel comfortable doing these cast-ons on your own, or you can fast forward and get to the next part. But yeah, I'm going to continue down the line, and hopefully by the time I get to that count, I'll be done mentioning this other bit of news that I wanted to share with everyone. I am holding a special giveaway, and I wanted to share it. Whatever video this ends up being on, I do have an original channel, and I'm trying to split off my crafts off that channel. So I wanted to share this special giveaway because the winnings is definitely going to be a help to whomever's having issues knitting or crocheting. So I thought it would be great to share this with you guys as well. So my special giveaway is on my original channel. I'll leave a link for that in the description box below. You have to be publicly subscribed, and it's an 18-week giveaway. So right now we're going to be in week 4 or 3. So it's anyone's game. Crafts are not as popular on my original channel, so there is an opportunity to win. But what you have to do is every Tuesday I post a NFL video, and I do 2 teams on there, and all you have to do is select which team is going to win or lose, and whoever is correct in their guesses will end up winning the season. And if there's multiple winners, then I'll end up putting those names on a wheel and then randomly selecting. But there will be one craft winner. There's going to be another winner, but that's like a nail. I have a nail channel, so it's going to be a nail winner. But there's one craft winner, and what they're going to get is a bunch of goodies on top of a gift card, as well as a 1-hour StreamYard session to go over any projects that you might have issues with, or if you just want to learn how to knit or crochet, you'll get that hour with me to kind of work that stuff out. If you have a channel, I'm also, or considering doing a channel, I can also offer some channel help during that meeting. And it's going to look something like this. So if you're not the type to put yourself out there in a meeting, especially, you don't know me, I don't know you, you can always set your phone camera up to be something like this, and you can show me the projects or instructions you're working on, and I can help you work them out if you have any issues, or if you just want to talk about a channel or potentially starting a channel. This can be like a table and you don't have to share yourself. Actually, there's an option to close the video and you can just have audio. So I thought that would be useful. So go ahead to my original channel. I'll leave that link again in the description box below. Good luck. But yeah, thank you so much for my support and my viewers. I really appreciate all of it, really. I just had intentions on helping one person, and it just spiraled out into helping so many people, and I'm just so overwhelmed that I'm able to help some of you out there, or at least inspire you to want to go and do these kits. They're not easy at all, so if you end up getting them done, I am really proud of you. Even if you tried it and failed, like, I'm so proud of you, because I find knitting and crocheting to be such a wonderful hobby, and it's always at least something to at least try once. So very nice if you have. So thank you, and more thanks. And Dexter thanks you too. Okay, so I think I have the number of stitches that I need. You always want to go back and double check your count, and as you saw, like, this is probably the third time of me counting, only because I'm talking at the same time and I just get crazy when I feel like I think I got it, but I don't, because I'm doing 2 million things. But once you get here to this point, I'm going to show you how to do the next row. So it's going to be the same motions, so it's not going to be too difficult to pick up as well once you got this part down. If you got this part down, the next row should be pretty easy. But if not, you can always just continue to practice this and then move on, or what have you. But let's do the next row. So what you want to do is take your needle and put that into the first stitch here, get into your knitting stance, and we're going to do the same action that we did to create the new stitch. So we're going to do a knit stitch. So X your needles, go back to forward and down, and then we're going to slide the left over the right, just like we did before. Now, in this case, we were picking up the new stitch with the left needle and putting it onto the left needle. Now, what we're going to do different here is we created a new stitch. We're going to lose a stitch on this side. So you want to slip this loop that we used off the needle, and you want to hold on to these guys because you don't want to lose them. So just flick that off of there, and then you're good to go. The idea is, in this instruction particularly, not in every instruction, but the number of stitches you had on the left, we want to transfer to the right by creating a new stitch for the row. So let's do this again. Stick your needle into the next stitch here, get into your knit stitch stance. We're going to go back to forward and down. We're going to slide left over right, and then we're just going to remove that loop that we used off the left needle. So now we have a new stitch here, but we lost a stitch here. All right, let's do this one more time, you guys. Stick your needle into the next stitch here, get into your knit stitch stance. We're going to go back to front and down, and then we're going to slide left over right and back. All right, and then you're going to slip this stitch off the left needle, and now we have 3 stitches here and 1 less on this side. And that's it. So if you need extra help, rewind this portion here, but I'm going to move on to finish up all these stitches. The idea is to remove all the stitches off the left and transfer it again with new stitches on the right, and then I'm going to come back in and we're going to talk about the next steps. I'm just curious. I'm sure it might show it in these instructions that I received, but what color are the knitting needles? I'm very curious. Maybe if we can play a game and whoever can answer the question, are they white? Question mark? Or are they pink? but I'm going to say white. So comment below, let me know what those knitting needles are. I love that they come with colors, but I think there was one kit that didn't work well because I like the color contrast. Like for instance, this black on pink is great because you can easily see the stitches through them. I had that one kit and I can't remember where from. It was like, I think it was red. It was red on red. So red needles and red yarn, and I was like, oh, you know, when you get better, it's a matter of just feeling it. Which is why I love knitting, because I can watch a movie while knitting. So just curious to think what would work well against black yarn, and I can only imagine that you guys have the white knitting needles. All right, so now that we've completed this row, you're gonna find that your project wants to twist and turn, something like this. And I've in the past not paid attention because I wasn't looking, and I totally like knitted the thing like this, and it made a kink into my project. So what you want to make sure is that when after every row completed, you want to pull your project down. You want the project to grow downward, not grow upward or spirally like this. So this is gonna prevent you from making any mistakes. Well, not any, but these kinds of mistakes. Okay, so now we have an empty left needle. This is how you know you completed a row. You can set that down. Now what to do? Well, every time you start a new row, you should have stitches on your left, and all we're gonna do is do a flip like that. I always find that funny, but that's as simple as that. Now we magically have more stitches on our left side, left needle, and this one's going to become your right. And so basically what we're going to do is start this all over again and transfer the number of stitches on this left needle to new stitches with the same count onto your right. All right, so from here on out though, I'm going to do this in silence. You can rewind this portion as many times as you need to get comfortable until you can do this on your own. But I'm going to do the rest in silence, and I'm going to build it to the length that the instructions tells me. And by the way, they give you two ways to do that. There's the measurement, and then they give an approximate number of rows that you have to build. But because for beginners, your rows are always going to be not always the same size, what I recommend is just making sure that the measurement is the size that they say, because you're going to have to end up forming the cat afterwards, and you want it big enough to their instruction, because if your rows are very tight, you might have issues building your cat, or in the other end, if they're too large, you might have a bigger problem with the stuffing, I think. So, because they only give you so much. All right, so I'm just going to gather up some yarn here, and I'm going to do the rest in silence. All right, so I've made it to the length that it was asking me to make for this rectangle, and now I'm going to show you how to cast off. So what you want to do is knit 2 stitches. All right, and to cast off, you're just going to leapfrog this stitch over this one, and then off the right needle and off the left needle. So you have 1 stitch left on your right needle. So you always have to have 2 to cast off. So let's knit another stitch. So we have 2 again. You're going to lift up this stitch and leapfrog it over the next, and we're going to pull it off the right needle and then remove it off the left needle. We're back to 1 stitch. Let me show you this one more time. Knit 1 stitch, so then you have 2 stitches on your right needle. We're going to leapfrog this stitch over the next one, and we're going to pull it off the right needle and remove it off the left needle, and you have 1 stitch left again. So you got to just repeat these steps to complete the whole rest of the stitches down here, and then I'm going to show you what to do with the last remaining stitch. And I always like this part for some reason. Alright, so when you have removed all your stitches off your left needle, you will still have 1 more loop left. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this about 1 inch or so, and then we're going to yarn over this feeder yarn, and we're going to leapfrog this stitch over the yarn over, off the right needle, and then remove off the left needle, and then we're going to pull this right needle out and pull that yarn all the way out as well. So to tighten this up, you just pull on this end, and it's going to tighten up that stitch to create a knot, and then you can weave these ends by using a needle. So I'm going to use a needle from a different kit. Okay. And then I'm just going to weave in and out on the edge here. Okay. Then pull it through. hold this corner down so that you can continue to pull the yarn through. With any luck, you'll do it long enough to where it disappears on the edge. But now, after this is complete, you do have to make one more square. So you guys, I guess for video length's sake, because I think I'm realizing these videos are very long, to start this second square, I would rewind the video to the beginning, and just, if you need to do that step-by-step of having to cast on yarn onto your needle. I'm going to do this off camera, and we're going to come back in and put this stuff all together. So yeah, the second rectangle has the number of stitches and length required, so again, follow that, and we will be back with the next parts. So I completed both rectangles here, and we're going to start with the larger one first. Let's take that tail and thread up our needle. Okay, so we're going to create a tube with this rectangle, and we're going to stitch the sides together. And you're going to want the prettier side to be on the inside of the tube. So just check your rectangle and just find the better. Sometimes they look the same, but you can kind of tell which one looks better. So we are going to start sewing over, I don't know what stitch that's called. I'm not a sewer, but we're going to stitch this way. And we're going to stitch all the way down the rectangle, the side of the rectangle. Alright, and once we've sewn this side, then what we have to do is we're going to be stitching, this will be the bottom, and we've got to make a little round kind of shape here. So I'm gonna come back. I wish they kind of told you how many rows you should go up. Let's go up. Right, and then I'm gonna just straight stitch my little round bottom here. And straight stitching is just coming up, going down a little bit of ways, coming back up. Yeah, again, I'm not a sewer. But I think that's what a straight stitch is called. Maybe it tells you in the booklet. Let's not be lazy about it. Try to cut corners there. Okay, so now we have to flip the tube inside out. But then what do we do with this? Alright, let's just flip it inside out. And the corners are gone. We have this little tube here. And then we're going to put our stuffing inside. So again, I have my own stuffing, so I'm just going to grab some of that. I'm going to try to put the same amount that would be inside the kit. This might be a little bit more, but let's see. Okay. And I'm just kind of fluffing it to where it's in the shape of a tube. Sticking this in. Okay. And then we have to stitch this closed. So we have this piece here still. Try to line up the side, the stitches. And then this looks like it's going to be a straight stitch as well. So then it says pull on this edge and you're going to see the edge start to curve. I guess like that. I think. Pull up the top corners to create the cat ears. Okay, so I kind of get that part. Once you are happy with the shape, tie 2 knots to secure the top and hide the yarn tail. Okay. So you just got to manipulate this thing. I think I'm going to pull it here and then you can scrunch down the stitches to kind of make the ears look like this. So again, I don't know how to sew, so I'm just going to find a way to tie a knot. And then to hide this, you just go into your project on one end. We're going to come out the other, some random spot. And then I'm going to take a scissor and cut this flush. So you kind of have your ears now. You can rework it to where the ears are a little bit more prominent. You can kind of redo this shape to make it look like a cat. I'm just trying to I might actually use extra yarn to sew around and tighten up to make the neck. But I'm just trying to shape it right now. I think if you do good shaping, you should be able to see the form of a cat. Okay, so we kind of have something going on here. Oh, it actually tells you. That was a silly laugh. Okay, so I'm gonna get my black yarn It actually tells you to take a piece to sew around. So let's get some of that. And hopefully you have enough yarn. I'm using my own, so I definitely have enough yarn. If you don't, for this part, I would suggest getting, if you have black thread, and you can use that. Okay, and then actually I can, so starting this end, I'm gonna do like a weave. And try to stay within the row so that it's even. And I'm just going in and out of every stitch, if you're wondering. Okay, so I have this here. Now what you can do is just pull on it to where it constrains. Oh my gosh, look how cute. The lighting makes it too bright to see the shape good, or maybe you can, but I'm definitely seeing Dexter in this, and it's the cutest thing. Alright, I'm tying a knot, and I'm just gonna tie it tight to see how far of a neck I'm willing to go with this. I'm not trying to choke them out. Let's see. But you want it to where you make a nice kitty cat shape. Alright. So I think that's good enough, and then I'm just gonna double knot this. If you need a triple knot, do that. Alright, and then what we can do is thread up your needle. We're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to like stick it in a random spot in the body and make it go out some random other end and tie, cut it flush. So let's go in here, come out through this other side here. Okay. Then we're going to cut it. Squish bottom to hide the end. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. Sorry. Alright, stitch. We're gonna create the tail. So let us thread up our needle again. Okay, and this might be a little crazy, but we're gonna do it. You want to find the prettier side. So I'm gonna sew the corners together, but I want to sew the tip. And you can take this opportunity to taper the tip. You could just stick, your needle somewhere in this end here and close it tight to make a point. And then you can go back here. And we're going to sew the edge. Okay, So this is only like a little tiny piece. So just have to be a little patient when handling this, especially if you have big hands. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the last time I said which one was my favorite. This is my new favorite. Was it yesterday's video? The croissant video? Some of these kits are really nice. Some of them were kind of difficult for me. But I do have my favorites, and for the life of me I can't remember, which means it probably wasn't that favorite. But I'm telling you, like this one, my favorite. So once you reach the other end, we have to attach this to the bottom of the little kitty. And you can sew, try to be like, you know, maybe sew around it, not necessarily flat, and sew it together. Yes, so I've to find a spot right here, and I'm gonna sew around the tail just so that it's not flat. Oh my gosh, this is the cutest thing ever. The only thing is I don't have the stickers, so I am going to be off camera sewing the eyes. Sewing the eyes with some yarn. I really hope that I do a good job at it, because I would hate to mess this kitty up. It's so cute. I might, and since I've sewn it, because you don't really want to, unless you secure your felt stickers, you don't want to give this to a kid or a pet, because they'll, you know, they could eat those stickers off. But since I'm sewing all of this, I think that I can definitely give this to Dexter and see if he likes it. I kind of, anytime I see like a kitty doll, I saw like one of those Beanie Baby black cats in 2 different sizes, I think, and I gave it to him. I mean, the bigger one I kept because I don't want him to ruin it, but I give him some of the kitty toys sometimes, like, here, this person looks like you, this kitty looks like you. Alright, and then I'm going to stick this randomly in one end, come out the other. You know, I did give him like a leopard print Beanie Baby, and that was his favorite. He always played with that one. And then the first and last time I ever boarded him, he left it there. Oh my gosh, and they didn't even give it back, and they didn't give me, I left like a towel that had my scent on it to make him calm, and they just didn't even bother giving that back, and I forgot about it. And then on top of that, he was like acting so weird after, So yeah, never again, first and only. But all right, so we have our little kitty with a little tail. Oh my gosh, sorry, I cannot. All right, so when we come back in, I'm gonna show you my end result. I'm gonna sew on. I was gonna do yellow eyes because he has yellow eyes, but this cat has green. So just in case we don't want to get confused with this doll compared to Dexter, I am gonna make the eyes green. I'm gonna make the eyes green and then do the nose. Dexter has a black nose. But we're gonna do the pink, and then we'll see what it's looking like. I hope yours is looking just as cute, if not cuter. And then yeah, I'll see you in a bit. All right, you guys, so I finished the spooky cat, and spooky indeed. Again, I didn't have the stickers, so I sewed on the nose and the eyes. I did the best that I could. I'm gonna put a photo of what Dexter looks like. Obviously nothing compares to him, so I'm just gonna use that as my excuse as to why my spooky cat looks way too spooky. But I am sure that once you've completed yours looks pretty close to what it shows on the box. So I am going to be using this photo. I'm going to take a photo of this as my thumbnail. And it's going to look so bad, but I do like the silhouette though. We've got the ears came out pretty decent. I didn't think they would. And then that whole neck thing was genius because now you can really see a nice silhouette. And then the tail is pretty cute as well. I'm gonna give this to Dexter and hopefully he likes it. But yeah, comment below, let me know how it went for you. I want to thank the viewer again that had made this request and sent me the instructions via email. Again, if you have any requests, please feel free to comment below. I'll try to find the kit. If you don't want to wait, definitely hit me up on my email with clear instructions and I'll try to help you out. And then also, just to go over again real quick, I am offering a special giveaway on my original channel. I'll leave a link for that in the description box below. I am sharing it with you guys because I am offering for the craft winner some goodies on top of a gift card, as well as a 1 hour one-on-one to help you with any of the projects that you might have, any of the questions that you might have regarding knitting, crocheting, or even if you are considering doing a channel or need help with your current channel. This is all going to be via StreamYard. You can check that out. It's going to be like a same setup as you see here, so you don't need to show your face or anything. And yeah, so hopefully I can help out that way, which is why, again, I'm sharing this with you guys. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.